Bix Weir, roadguru.com. Silver is moving. Silver's not allowed to move. What's going on here? Yeah, silver up 83 cents. Why is 83 cents a big deal? Say it goes up $1. Let's just put things into perspective. On the COMEX, which is basically where the price is set on silver, it's a derivative market. It's ridiculous. There is a total of 270,658 short positions. Remember, for every short, there is a long. So of those people holding those 270,658 short positions, each contract is 5,000 silver ounces. That would be 1.3 billion, with a B, billion ounces of short positions on the COMEX. Considering there's only 850 million ounces mined every year, you get to see where the problem lies. But let's just talk about it. 1.3 billion. Every $1 that silver goes up, $1.3 billion is lost by the shorts. Every $1. What would a $10 move do? What would a $100 move do? And where is the concentration? Ted Butler talks about this over and over and over again. Where is the concentration? It's in a handful of market riggers. And they're all under investigation. Some are getting busted right now. Obviously, last week, the 3 JP Morgan traders get busted. And they talk about headlines of Bloomberg. JP Morgan's metal desk was a criminal enterprise. That's RICO charges. And it's all of these big commercials, as they call them, on the COMEX. There's a handful. I would guess 5 of them are involved, with 2 of them in the U.S. being JP Morgan and Citibank. And then there's Deutsche Bank and HSBC, and 5 or 6 of them, basically. So every $1 that silver goes up, they lose. Well, let's take a look how much they lose. The commercial short position right now is 179,330 contracts. So basically times 5,000 ounces is 900 million ounces. Every $1 that it goes up, a handful of banks loses $900 million. So basically 4 or 5 banks today, with this move up of almost $1, lost $900 million. Is that a lot of money? Yes, even to a bank. Let's say silver gets away from the control, jumps up $5, $10. If it jumps up $10, that's $9 billion a handful of banks lose. It is a big deal. And how do we know it's still these same criminal banks? It's reported. It's reported every single week and every quarter at the OCC. Now, JP Morgan has increased its derivative book by a whopping $11 trillion in the first quarter. But here's their metal book, $17 billion in silver. This is mainly silver. Gold was separated out, and there's also a couple other metals, but it's mainly silver. And look at the banks who are involved in this in the U.S. JP Morgan and Citibank. The next 2 have 0. Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, nobody else has any. It's JP Morgan and Citibank, and what's happening to them right now under investigation for criminal charges. It's all right here. It has been in front of our eyes for 2 decades that I've been in it. And what did Jamie Dimon? Okay, so they get busted for rigging the silver price over a matter of 7 or 8 years. Here's what happened in those 7 or 8 years. As they rigged the price down to control it, look at the JP Morgan Chase inventories of silver. Look at that. Basically, they're rigging the price down so they can buy physical. They are the #1 criminal enterprise right now. This man is going to jail. Jamie Dimon. RICO charges. Now, and everybody's asking me, Bix, well, say they bust JP Morgan. What happens to that silver? Can't they just use the silver to cover losses? No. They have to forfeit 3 times, up to 3 times in a RICO charge, 3 times the amount they stole. So if they have $1 billion, which I think they have close to, a billion ounces, they probably have close to 1 billion ounces, they're going to have to pay back 3 billion ounces of physical silver, which doesn't exist, by the way. It is a big deal. It's a big deal that you own some silver. This headline is what we've been looking for 20 years. Ted Butler for 50 years. That boy has done a hell of a lot of work. 40 years. He started in the 80s talking about the rigging on the silver market. He has proven himself to be 100% correct. If anybody gets the whistleblower money in silver, it should be Ted Butler. If there is any whistleblower money, because JP Morgan will be gone. They won't have anything. Remember, JP Morgan, literally, every $1 that silver goes up, they lose their shirt, even though they have this physical that's going to be confiscated. And they're going to throw their other banking buddies under the bus as the bus comes running by. 900 million ounces equals $900 million for every $1 move up. So silver is going to move up quickly because they got to cover that short, but they can't. So whoever tries to cover the short now is going to lose $1 per short they have. And a small handful have 900 million. So you're going to see a $10 move in silver, which would mean $9 billion loss for these criminals. Why? Why are they even allowed to take such a great, gigantic position? Because they need it to rig the price. It is insane. And this, take a look at this. This is SLV, that lovely ETF, the silver ETF that was supposed to save the silver market back in 2006. Who is the custodian of that silver? Still, to this day, JP Morgan. Where is the fiduciary responsibility of the owners of SLV? Who is the owner of SLV? BlackRock. And you look at, this is a fact sheet. This is hysterical. The fact sheet for the iShares Silver Trust, you read through it, it doesn't even mention JP Morgan being the custodian of all their silver. Here's how much silver they have. 323 million ounces of silver. The largest visible stockpile of silver. This is not owned by JP Morgan. This is owned by the investors in SLV, supposedly. And how do you go short on an ETF that's supposed to be physically backed? It is insane. It is a fraud, and fraud is allowed to happen until now. So how do we know that JP Morgan is still the trustee of the custodian? You just go to the prospectus. Here it is. The trustee is the Bank of New York Mellon, and the custodian is, yes, the same people that's being named in the RICO suit for rigging silver, JP Morgan Chase, London branch. The agreement between the trust and the custodian is governed by English law, which means it's full of Swiss cheese. Insane, insane. What does it mean? As this unfolds, the price of silver will continue to go up until we have a default. Then it will shut down the COMEX. It will shut down the banking system. It will shut down everything. They are going to keep it going until they're ready to pull the plug. And then you're going to wish you had physical silver in your own possession. Because all these contracts, they're unpayable. They don't have 1 billion ounces worth of silver to pay off. They just don't have it. And what would it cost to get it? Don't forget, JP Morgan, their silver is 99% pledged to all these other places. Number one, the SLV is not JP Morgan silver. They're just the custodian, and they've been using it to rehypothecate it, sell it 5 times, and contract it out. It is getting ugly. It will get uglier. And I do think they're going to be perp walking Jamie Dimon and Blythe Masters. And that'll be a good day. It'll be a crazy day, but it'll be a good day. Anyway, you want to learn more about silver manipulation or silver in general? Go to roadtoguru.com, hit the search button, and type in silver. And you will have access to 1,080 pages. 1,080 web pages of information I have accumulated over the last 20 years. 1,080 articles on price manipulation of silver. You'll learn everything you need to know about silver manipulation, who's been involved over the years, how it happened, why it happened, and what's being done about it. we're finally getting to what's being done about it, which is good. So what's the answer? Go buy silver. Go to your local coin shop. All you little guys out there who are like into cryptos, obviously you should have metals as well as cryptos. It should be obvious. If you're into cryptos, you understand monetary policy. If you understand monetary policy, you know how important silver is. And if you understand high tech, you know how important silver is for your little crypto thing to keep going. Obviously, you need cell phones, you need flat screen TVs, you need the internet. Hell of a lot of silver is used in that stuff because it's the best conductor of electricity. It's the industrial side that gold will never have. And we're running out of silver. And they're about to bust JP Morgan. And go buy silver. This is Bix, roadtoro.com. I'm going off to buy some silver. See you later.